Hey movie hunters, welcome back to the Movie Hunter. Today, we're hopping aboard a cinematic locomotive for a deep dive into The General, the 1926 silent comedy masterpiece from Buster Keaton. This action-packed gem isn't just a film, it's a high-speed ride that redefined what movies could do, blending slapstick with heart-pounding stunts. From its Civil War setting to Keaton's stone-faced genius, let's hunt down what makes The General a timeless classic and why it still rolls strong in 2025. Buckle up, because this is a wild one. First, let's set the stage. The General hit theaters in 1926, directed by Buster Keaton and Clyde Bruckman, with Keaton also starring as the lead. It's set during the American Civil War, inspired by a real 1862 incident called the Great Locomotive Chase. Keaton plays Johnny Gray, a Southern train engineer who loves two things: his locomotive, named the General, and his sweetheart, Annabelle Lee, played by Marion Mack. But when the war breaks out, Johnny's life gets derailed. He tries to enlist in the Confederate Army, but they reject him not because he's a coward, but because he's more valuable as an engineer. Annabelle doesn't buy it, thinking he's shirking his duty, and she gives him the cold shoulder. The plot kicks into high gear when Union spies steal the General during a stop at Big Shanty. With Annabelle on board, she'd climbed into a boxcar to grab something from her trunk. The spies, led by Captain Anderson, plan to use the train to sabotage Confederate lines, cutting telegraph wires and wrecking tracks as they head north. Johnny, heartbroken but determined, chases after them first on foot, then by bicycle, handcar, and finally another locomotive, the Texas. What follows is a 78-minute thrill ride of chases, stunts, and gags. Johnny's a one-man army, dodging cannon fire, fixing tracks, and even firing a mortar at the spies, though he accidentally douses himself with water when they stop for fuel. He eventually sneaks behind enemy lines, rescues Annabelle, and steals the General back, leading to a climactic chase where he outsmarts the Union forces, saves the day, and wins Annabelle's heart. Let's break down what makes this film tick, because The General is more than just a comedy, it's a masterclass in storytelling. At its heart, it's about perseverance. Johnny's an underdog, rejected by the army and his girl, but he never gives up. Keaton's signature deadpan, his great stone face. As critics call, it makes every mishap hilarious, but you feel his determination too. The Civil War setting adds stakes, but Keaton keeps it light, focusing on the absurdity of one guy against an army. Historians note the real-life inspiration: the 1862 Andrews Raid, where Union soldiers stole a Confederate train. Keaton took that kernel and turned it into a love letter to trains. He was obsessed with them, and it shows in every lovingly shot locomotive sequence. Themes-wise, The General is deceptively simple but rich. It's a story of loyal to Johnny's devotion to Annabelle, and his train drives everything. There's a subtle critique of wars, chaos. The Union spies and Confederate soldiers are both bumbling at times, showing how ordinary people get caught in the crossfire. Keaton also plays with technology trains were the cutting edge of 1860s. Innovation and Johnny's ingenuity with them mirrors Keaton's own inventiveness as a filmmaker. Film academics often highlight the film's structure. It's symmetrical, with the first half being Johnny's chase north and the second half his race back south with Annabelle. That balance makes the comedy and action feel seamless, like a perfectly engineered machine. Asterisk. Now, the stunts. Oh man, the stunts. Keaton was a daredevil, and The General is his playground. He did all his own stunts, no doubles, no tricks. There's a scene where he sits on the train's cowcatcher, tossing railroad ties off the tracks as he speeds along insane. Another where he climbs onto a moving cannon, lights it, and accidentally fires it at his own train. The most iconic moment: when a real locomotive the Texas crashes through a burning bridge into a rivulet, was the most expensive shot in silent film history, costing $42,000, which is over $600,000 today. Keaton filmed in Oregon for authenticity, using real trains, and 500 extras from the National Guard to play soldiers. The attention to detail is stunning. Every chase feels real, every gag perfectly timed. Visually, The General is a beauty. Keaton worked with cinematographer Devereaux Jennings to capture the lush Oregon landscapes, giving the film a sweeping, almost epic feel. The trains are the real star shot from every angle. They're both majestic and menacing. Keaton's physical comedy is pure art. He leaps, falls, and scrambles with a grace that's almost balletic. Critics often praise his minimalist style. There's no overacting, just subtle expressions and precise movements. One famous moment has him sitting on the train's connecting rod as it starts moving, lifting him up and down like a human piston. It's funny, but also a perfect metaphor for his relentless drive. Asterisk, production-wise, The General was a gamble. Keaton had just started his own production company with Joseph M. Schenck, and this was his passion project. It cost $750,000 today, which $4 million today, which was huge for a comedy. He shot over 6 weeks in 1926, using real locomotives and building sets like the Rock River Bridge just for that crash scene. But Keaton's perfectionism came with risks. He nearly drowned in a river stunt, and a cannon misfire almost took his head off. The crew worked hard to match his vision, even sleeping in train cars on location. Keaton wanted authenticity, and he got it, but at a cost. The film's mix of comedy and war drama confused audiences at the time, and it flopped, grossing only $500,000. Keaton lost creative control after that, a blow he never fully recovered from. Asterisk, critically, The General didn't get the love it deserved in 1926. Some reviewers called it too dramatic for a comedy, questioning Keaton's choice to set a laugh fest during the Civil War. Others thought the gags were sparse, expecting more slapstick. They missed the film's subtle humor. But history's been kind. By 2025, it's a crown jewel of cinema, often called Keaton's greatest work. Roger Ebert once said, "The greatest of the silent clowns is Buster Keaton, not only because of what he did, but because of how he did it." Orson Welles went further, calling Keaton the greatest of all the clowns in the history of cinema. A supreme artist. It's in the National Film Registry, and critics rank it among the best films ever. Blend of action, comedy, and heart is unmatched. Asterisk, let's talk legacy, because The General is a game changer. It showed comedies could be epic, paving the way for action comedy hybrids like Indiana Jones or Pirates of the Caribbean. Keaton's stunts inspired everyone from Jackie Chan to Tom Cruise. Movie experts often cite his influence on modern action stars. The film's train chase became a blueprint for cinematic pursuits. Think Mad Max, Fury Road's high-octane energy. And Keaton himself. He's a legend. Filmmaker Mel Brooks has said, "I owe Buster a lot. He was a great teacher for me as a filmmaker." The General's also a love letter to the silent era's ingenuity before CGI. Keaton used real physics for every gag, making the impossible look effortless. Asterisk, but it's not flawless. Some modern viewers find the Civil War setting tricky. Keaton's Johnny is a Confederate, which can feel off in 2025, though the film doesn't glorify the South. It's more about personal loyalty than politics. The pacing might feel slow for today's audiences, with long stretches of chases that rely on visual gags rather than dialogue. And Annabelle's character is a bit of a damsel, though Marion Mack brings spunk to her role. Still, these are small quibbles. Watching The General now, I'm blown away by its energy. Keaton's a human cartoon, defying gravity and logic, yet you root for him every step of the way. Asterisk. That's the General 1926 Hunter's, a silent comedy that still roars with life. It's a must-watch for its stunts, its heart, and its place in film history. Have you seen it, or are you hopping on this train? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you loved this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got more classics coming your way. This is the Movie Hunter, signing off. Keep chasing your dreams, and I'll see you on the tracks.